Hi students. Today I'm going to share with you a strategy you can use when working in your groups, and this works really well if you're doing your dialectical journals. It's a really great way to share your ideas, and for a lot of people to sort of share their ideas at once, so this might be really helpful in remote learning especially. So what I would do is in our shared Google Docs, I would create a multi-column table. So I'm just going to insert a table and I'm going to create, let me see, the text, me, let's say 2 partners. So that's 4, and then I want 2. So I'm going to put text, my analysis, and you can do this one of 2 ways. You can either have one group for group analysis, or you could put the name of each person, sorry. So let's say Ruth, my dog, and we'll put my husband Greg here as my partners. So you could do something like that. So you could do 3, you could do 4, you could do 5 columns, depending on what your group prefers, right? So we could either do it like, here, I'll show you 2 examples. Let me insert, oops. Let me do it like this. Insert table, okay, so then I could do text, my analysis, and then my group analysis. So you can do it either way. Both are completely fine, whatever your group thinks would work. And then what I would do is I would just go to my dialectical journal, or if I hadn't done it yet, I would go and find a quote. So today what I found is this quote. When we first sort of find out about Elizabeth, they talk about how she looked different from the other children. She was very thin and fair, while the others were dark, and it ends up being clear that it's because of her social status. So I'm just going to paste that there. I'm going to put my quotations, and I'm also going to put my page number, 28. No, wait, is it actually 28? Yes, it is. Okay. So I'm going to put my page number at the end just to make my life easy later. Okay, so that's what I'm doing. I don't know why that one looks so terrible, but that doesn't matter. Okay, and then what I would do here is I would write my analysis, whether I'm analyzing from a feminist lens or, excuse me, a Marxist lens or a historical lens. I could still, actually all of those for this one are going to be pretty similar. So I might say something about how, Frankenstein as the narrator seems biased towards people who meet Western standards of beauty, right? Elizabeth is blonde-haired and blue-eyed, and therefore seen as being more worthwhile or valuable than the darker children. Later, it is revealed that she is the daughter of a higher status person, which, sort of confirms the bias. The Frankensteins, the Frankensteins bias, right? And then, obviously my question would be about, does Shelley agree with Frankenstein's judgment of Elizabeth, right? Is her value tied to her beauty and social status? Or is Shelley putting this there to show us that Frankenstein is unable to see people's value if they do not meet standards? Okay, so that's my analysis. That's a question, right? Because I'm still at the beginning of the book, so I'm still going to have a lot of questions. And then after this, right, either my partners would then have a chance to sort of comment, and they could comment either on what I said. So Ruth might say, oh, yeah, oh, I agree with you. I don't know why she'd say oh first. She'd probably say bark, bark, bark. I agree with you. Frankenstein seems really biased, and this comes up again and again. We see it later when, so they might say something like that, or they might say, like, I think you're reading too much into this. Or they might say, I think Shelley maybe was a product of her time and wanted the reader to sympathize with Elizabeth, and so made her beautiful. Right? So you could agree, you could disagree. There's lots of different, you can add on to what the other person said. So those are all things that you could do. So I'm just going to add that here. So agree and say why. Disagree and say why. Add on to what the person said. And that's a really, so it's just a good way to start getting the conversation going. And then you can obviously chat with each other for clarification, but this might be a nice way to get the conversation going, especially because some of your classmates are mic shy. And this might be a nice way to do that. So just, I'm calling this a multi-column conversation because you can have as many columns as you feel like you need. We have the text, we have our original analysis, and then you can either make a column for each of your group members, or you can just have one column for everyone who's not you to write their ideas in. And some of the things you can do are to agree and say why you agree, disagree and say why you disagree with the analysis, add on to what the person said. You can also like offer a alternate analysis or correct misunderstandings or clarify. So there's a lot of great things you can do with this. So that's one strategy that you can try in your groups if you're trying to find ways to get the conversation going. See you guys later.